I wonder who that guy is.
I am Sub-Zero.
Ah, I see. Sub-Zero's just one of the many characters brought back for the bloody 2021 reboot of the Mortal Kombat franchise. Is the movie as gory as promised? Let's find out. The film opens with a peasant woman doing some gardening as her husband and young son walk up behind her. The scene is beautifully lit, peaceful, and serene. Nothing bad is going to happen in this paradise. No, sir. Subtitles tell us that this is the Hanzo Hasashi compound in Japan during the year 1617. The husband, named Hanzo, and his wife, Harumi, share an affectionate moment before he heads off into the forest. The wife returns to gardening with a tool that Michael Myers would be very comfortable using. Hanzo goes to a local stream with a bucket to retrieve some water, and as he dips down, we're shown an impressive marking on his wrist. The wife goes inside to care for an infant, and hears the sound of a weapon tearing through a man's body. Understandably frightened, she proceeds to hide her baby underneath the floorboard. God, those are convenient. The doors slide open and a man dressed in dark blue appears. The mother and son attempt to flee, but he stops them, shaking his head no. They'll not be leaving today. One of the man's hands begins to turn to ice, revealing to the viewer that he is none other than Sub-Zero. Cue ominous rising voices and slow head tilt. Yeah, they did. The husband slowly makes his way home from Sherwood Forest and sees his wife and son frozen solid, with a shard through his beloved's bloody back. As he mourns, he becomes aware of the presence of others behind him. Masked men approach and Hanzo grabs his wife's gardening tool, which never really looked like a gardening tool. Tying it to a rope, he begins dispatching the baddies. It quickly becomes clear this man is Scorpion. He just hasn't received his costume yet. Once all his enemies are down, Scorpion calls out for Sub-Zero, who is sitting on a rock nearby, daring Scorpion to around and find out. Scorpion and Sub-Zero have some mortal enemies back and forth, in which it's revealed that they actually can't understand each other. With one speaking Chinese and the other Japanese, they fight. Sub-Zero stabs Scorpion and Scorpion makes his "I'll be back" speech. I hope I'm that cool if I ever get murdered by my archenemy. It begins to storm and we see a lightning bolt appear, with Lord Raiden finally showing up to the party. Just a few minutes late, my man. Raiden inspects the bloody blade used to kill Hanzo and heads inside to find the child. He does his best Halle Berry impression, walks outside, and disappears. The Mortal Kombat title card appears on screen and we're told that Earthrealm is losing badly in the Olympics. If they lose one more tournament, Outworld will invade. We're introduced to a young fighter named Cole, prepping for an upcoming match with his daughter by his side. A referee straight out of Rocky tells Cole that he needs to improve his fighting technique. No shit. It's not just about throwing punches. A cage fight is shown with Cole absolutely wailing on a guy. A man steps in front off the street to get a look at what's going down. Mustache, big arms, muscle shirt. This guy lifts. Cole keeps hammering, but in a turn of events necessary to his story arc, he loses. We cut to Outworld, which is apparently somewhere in Utah. From the back, a Game of Thrones reject walks up to a throne. The camera pans to the front and we see that the House Lannister wannabe is actually Sub-Zero, or Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Hard to tell. The man on the throne, a discount version of Shang Tsung from the first film, says that they're going to wipe out the Mortal Kombat fighters from Earth before the tournament, which begs the question, why haven't they just done this in the past? Surely this would have been easier to do in the 15th century or something. You know, before humans had weapons? Shang Tsung calls him Bi-Han, and Bi-Han's like, "Didn't you see the promotional posters, dude? Sub-Zero." End scene. After the fight, Cole's washing up in the bathroom. Looking into the mirror, he sees a flash of Scorpion. Scorpion, Bloody Mary, or Candyman? It was fast and hard to see. Understandably, this freaks him the hell out. Jax, the Jack dude from earlier, comes in and introduces himself to Cole. Jax and Cole talk about his shitty fighting skills, smart daughter, and dragon birthmark. This film is more references to bloodlines than at a white supremacist rally. So, not Liu Kang and his wait a second, why isn't Liu Kang in this movie? Whatever. Anyways, this Cole guy and his family go out for ice cream and Jax follows them. Sub-Zero shows up and a car chase ensues because this film could clearly afford stunt drivers but not fight choreographers. Cole, in his best line of dialogue, says,
"What the fuck is that thing?"
Yes, many have pondered the same question through the ages. Jax says he has the same birthmark as Cole and that they're both part of the Avengers. High five! Jax sends Cole to Indiana to find Sonya Blade while he gets his ass handed to him by Sub-Zero, which results in the loss of his arms. It's an incredibly gnarly scene, and if you do one thing after watching this video, if you do two things after watching this video, it has to be this. 1, like and subscribe because shameless self-promotion, baby. And 2, hop on the internet and find this scene. Actually, it's in the trailer. You know what? Just watch the trailer. Back to Outworld. Nothing. Barren. I can see why they want to invade Earthrealm. Outworld kind of sucks. A henchwoman asks Shang Tsung, that's a tongue twister, try saying that 3 times fast, about Lord Raiden and the potential consequences of him finding out that they're breaking the rules laid in place by the Elder Gods. Shang shrugs this off and insinuates that they've cheated before and never been caught. Cole arrives at an abandoned construction site in Indiana, and Sonya comes barreling at him, beating him into the ground. Let the record show that she's in the stereotypical tactical pants and tight tank top. Stereotypical for a reason. It's hot! Sonya wants to see proof that Cole is in fact one of the Avengers, so he shows her his magic mic. Mark. Yeah, Mark. They walk to the trailer, where she shows him her research into the mark. We see a good-looking, but don't tell him that, blonde, bearded man chained to a chair. Enter Kano.
Oh, hello, sunshine.
Kano's a mercenary and all-around piece of crap. Sonya hates his guts, which the movie will make clear to you many, many times. Sonya was tracking another Avenger, but found Kano instead. Hooray! When Cole asks her about the mark, Sonya reveals she doesn't have one. In that moment, we get her entire character arc. She'll eventually get her mark and realize that she's special too. Reptile shows up to kill the Avengers, but Kano manages to break free of his chains and save the day. It should be noted that the actor playing Kano is one of the only ones who understands the movie he's in, and is swinging for the fences.
Kano wins.
Kano just happens to know the location of Raiden's temple, and makes a deal with Sonya to take her there if she gives him $3 million. We cut to them parachuting into a set that looks suspiciously like Outworld. I'm just saying. Liu Kang finally shows up. There you are, buddy. I've missed you. Anyways, he shows up to escort our heroes the rest of the way to Oz, and he makes some excuses for the lack of a budget by saying, "It wasn't always like this." Really? Was there some interior decorating at one point? Liu leads them through the temple where pictures of previous Mortal Kombat tournaments are painted on the walls. There's even a picture of Goro ripping a man in half because spirituality or something? Liu says the R-rated Power Rangers need to start training ASAP. Monks are seen throughout the temple, and Sonya stumbles on some of them treating Jax, who is alive after all. Raiden reappears and, like the best leaders, insults his champions.
Powerless. Arrogant. You are in no physical or mental shape to fight.
He's less of a Yoda figure and more of a grumpy Gandalf. He repeats the title card just in case viewers on their phone didn't catch it the first time. That Outworld only needs one more victory to invade Earth and enslave every human being on the planet. Talk about pressure. Liu Kang is meditating when he senses a presence nearby, and we see that Sub-Zero has opened the door to the temple. It wasn't exactly heavily guarded. A man we've never seen before pops up with a boomerang hat, and we're introduced to Liu Kang's cousin, Kung Lao. Kung Lao saves Liu from Sub-Zero, but Charles Manson and his camp have found a way into the temple. Shang Tsung delivers some fantastically terrible villain dialogue and threatens the Power Rangers, but Raiden shows up and creates a force field to keep team bad guys out, allowing his warriors adequate time to train, which is about 6 hours more or less. Sonya goes to visit Jax, who wakes up with robotic arms. Jax tries to train with his new arms, and Sonya looks on, encouraging him to be all that he can be. While they're working the bags, Cole and Liu are cleaning up after the latest round of training. They have a bonding moment, which is really just a thinly veiled excuse for the writers to reinforce the concept of arcana. Arcana?
It must come from your soul. Whatever it is that drives you.
Essentially, it's your superpower. Fireballs, ice hands, you know, the usual. Speaking of arcana, Kano gets his while the gang is eating dinner after making some slightly racist jokes. Raiden takes a break from his busy schedule of sitting around not training the champions to walk in the room and badger Cole about not getting his superpowers yet. He also drops the bomb that Cole has his mark because of his lineage. He's a direct descendant of the ninja from the beginning of the film, Hanzo Hasashi. While he thought Cole would inherit the same ninja skills as his ancestor, his inability to find his arcana proves that isn't the case. He eases up on the force field and tells Cole to be with his family. There's nothing he can do to help them here. A quick visit to Outworld introduces us to several new baddies, including Cabal, who has a personal connection with Kano. Cabal is sent to Earthrealm and finds Kano on the other side of the force field. He calls Kano a sissy, so Kano switches sides. That's about all it takes, plus the promise of some cold hard cash. Kano uses his Arcana Laser Eye on some ancient relic, which has the effect of deactivating Raiden's shield, and sinister black smoke starts crawling into the training pit. The supervillains make their entrance. Cut back to Smallville, where Cole's family is hiding out. Prince Goro, a fan favorite from the '95 film, emerges from the garage and basically starts throwing Cole around like a rag doll. This scene is intercut with the fight at the training pit in Raiden's temple, where we see our heroes go up against some lame minions. Kung Lao faces off against a Xena warrior princess reject, and in one of the film's bloodier moments, kills her by cutting her face in half with his boomerang hat. God, that is awesome. Back in Smallville, Goro is close to killing Cole, but his wife takes charge, grabs an axe, and hits him in his side. If that wasn't enough, she rams him with her car. Score one for wifey. Goro bashes the car in and rips the door off, and just as he's about to finish off Cole's family, Cole finally summons his secret power, which turns out to be body armor. Body armor and sweet arm swords. After a sick uppercut, he sticks his newfound weapon through Goro's eye socket. Good night, sweet prince. Cole, newly confident, goes back to help his teammates, but is too late to save Kung Lao, who is killed by Shang Tsung. Raiden calls a timeout and summons his players to the Void, aka Limbo, giving his condolences to Liu Kang. Jax asks the most obvious question of the entire movie, which is why Raiden didn't stop this, and Raiden says the Elder Gods forbid him from getting involved. Raiden really needs to look at the handbook to find some loopholes. Cole pumps up the team and says they need to split up to take on Shang Tsung's warriors one by one. Cole asks if Raiden can send anyone anywhere. Raiden says yes, as evidently this is fine and not breaking the rules. Wait, how is this not getting involved? In one of the better choreographed fight scenes, Kano and Sonya go at it in her trailer. They use everything available to wage battle, from knives to dishes to more knives. It's down and dirty. They take their fight to the bathroom, where Sonya clocks his head against the toilet and tries to strangle him with the shower curtain. The fight moves outside, with Kano now getting his turn at strangulation. Luckily, a guard gnome comes to the rescue and she manages to stick it through his eye socket. Team Earthrealm really likes this tactic. Sonya gets the mark after killing Kano and is now officially special. Liu kills a lackey when his magic fireballs turn into a dragon. Once again, a fire dragon. He dedicates this brutal murder to Kung Lao, who would probably appreciate it after slicing some lady's head in half earlier. Sub-Zero kidnaps Cole's family and lures Cole to the gym from the beginning of the film, except now it's completely frozen over into what looks like a worse version of Mr. Freeze's lair from the 1997 film Batman and Robin, the best Batman film ever made. Cole attempts to battle Sub-Zero but is way out of his league. Just as Bihan is about to deliver the death blow, something catches his arm.
Get over here!
Damn, that is a cool line. They duel back and forth with Scorpion coming out on top. Removing his mask, he asks Sub-Zero if he remembers his face. This gives Sub-Zero his second win and they end up in the cage, where Scorpion sees Cole's frozen family, clearly triggering memories of his own family. He unleashes a fireball from his mouth, finally BBQing Sub-Zero and finally ending the century-long feud. Scorpion disappears and Cole embraces his family as Sub-Zero's corpse lay rotting in the middle of the cage. Aww. Shang Tsung reappears to warn that another Mortal Kombat tournament will happen if this film is financially successful. Spoilers, it wasn't. We cut to sometime in the weeks and months following the Mortal Kombat tournament that wasn't actually a Mortal Kombat tournament. Cole shuts his locker door and tells the referee that he's quitting to pursue other ventures, which absolutely does not involve looking for guardians to protect the planet. The ref asks where he's going to end up and Cole says Hollywood. The ref asks what's in Hollywood. Cole said, not what, who? As the ref walks away, we see a poster in the background that says Johnny Cage. Okay, alright, bring on that sequel, let's go. Anyways, that's where the summary comes to an end. If you like these videos, you know what to do. Come on, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment down below, let me know what you think. Until next time, this is Jay from Creed Thoughts, Strange Thoughts, signing off. Later, dudes and dudettes.
我らの決闘を守れ。